start working. Because I've only got about an hour left now. So here I am, in a mysterious location where I was brought under duress to do some work. Don't know where, don't know why, don't know how. And I've never done this before, but I got this amazing video on the internet about how to do rock work. So this is my first time doing rock work. And it seems to be working.
Hold it, I'm laughing. I have to back up a bit. Can we edit stuff out?
Yeah. So you can swear if you wish to swear. Please feel free to swear, because we can have an unrated version as well as, you know, we can have the rap version for the any particular minority group, you know, like the.
That's racist.
Yeah, I hadn't finished my statement to make it unracist, such as the white kids that buy all the rap music stuff, who want to look cool but can't. How's that?
Can you?
More racist? So here I am in the wonderful location of Shawnigan with the wonderful Andrea making a rock wall apparently. First time ever.
Okay, wait, I'm gonna tell us about what's in this dumpster here, please.
In that dumpster, also known as a wheelbarrow, there appears to be a body, but it's not a compactor, luckily. So this is mortar.
And what does this mortar consist of?
It's 4 scoops of sand. Well, actually, it was 12 scoops of sand and 3 scoops of type 10 cement. And there's what it looks like. It looks pretty dry. It looks like just clay.
And what
or garden soil, but it's actually not.
And what should the consistency be like?
It should be dry, like that.
Okay, let's see.
I shall demonstrate a mix at some point in time. And see the way you can just trowel it and you get a nice smooth finish to it. And it's even as well. This is pretty ideal for this type of work.
And if there's any cat poo, you take that out.
Cat poo is not a preferred ingredient. Sometimes it's inevitable.
And what's that tool you're using?
If you have cats and you don't have a tarp, you can consider it likely that all sorts of... This tool is called a trowel. It's from a company called Marshallstown, which does not pay for any advertisement time on this video.
Okay, just wait.
Unless you want to.
So some of the tools that you need for this are a wheelbarrow and a trowel.
A hammer.
Okay, wait.
A crappy tire. Sorry, from a company which isn't Crappy Tire.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a holder and gloves.
I use oversized gloves to keep my hands soft for other purposes.
And work boots with steel toe. And they
Steel-toed work boots are really important because your toes have to last you for your lifetime, and your work boots don't actually need to. So it's better to have better work boots. Pay a bit of money for the work boots rather than the new toe.
Now, when you were just using the hammer hitting that rock, what were you doing?
I was making the curve the same as the curve on the...
Okay, let's zoom into that.
And this is a piece of piping. I guess it's electrical or for electrical conduit or something like that, and that makes your curve nice and neat. That's a requirement of the job as far as I'm concerned for curved walls, is some electrical conduit. What more do you want to know?
You seem to be throwing that mortar haphazardly. Is there a method to your madness?
There is a method to my madness. I'm not actually throwing it quite as haphazardly as it may seem.
And how are you choosing the rocks?
I'm choosing the rocks on the basis of what your mum said to me. She said, choose the right rocks, make it look kind of rough on the front, or I will be in serious trouble. And my whole relationship with her daughter may totally change. So I've got to be really careful about what rocks I choose.
Okay, Brian, we'd like to zoom in on a close-up and just see if you seem to be happy today or not.
I'm happy today. And it's mostly thanks to you. Uh-oh. I really appear to have... on this
Yeah, what are you
wall,
doing there exactly?
I'm haphazardly throwing mortar here. Now on this rock wall, the base is firm. It's full of small rocks like this.
Just a minute, we're zooming in here.
Small rocks like this in the base.
Let's see, is that about the size of your palm?
This size and a little bit bigger. So the base is actually firm. I dug out a little of the topsoil and I graded it back this way because there's a steep slope here. So I want the wall, as soil movement occurs, to dig in. And not simply... can you see it's sloped like that? It's not level.
Let's zoom in there for a minute.
So that will hold the wall in place better. It's also on a curve. That's another thing that keeps your wall better. To where you want your wall to be. Okay.
Now, Brian, that's a nice shirt you're wearing today.
Yes,
can you tell us about that?
Bought in a local downtown Victoria second-hand store.
Well, I thought maybe one of your other girlfriends bought it, so I'm happy to hear.
I don't have other girlfriends.
That's good.
The harem idea is totally...
a falsification of your imagination?
No.
What are you doing there now, that technique? Could you just show us that again?
This technique is called measuring. You use the hammer, my hammer, from a company otherwise known as Crappy Tire, which sells the best brick hammers for this job in Canada, I think. Is 11.5 inches from top to tail. So that's a nice width for my little double-faced wall for your mum.
Oh, and what do you mean by double-faced wall exactly?
This side has...
Just a minute, please. We'll just have to zoom in and the photographer. Okay.
So this wall has a nice surface on both sides. If this wall was between, say, this grade here and to retain soil here, you wouldn't bother with a nice surface on this side. But this is for your mum, and I want to make it a little bit better than normal.
Why?
Because otherwise there'll be hell to pay.
What's that tapping action that you're doing? Are you testing the solidity?
No, it's just placing the rock more exactly in line with the other rock. And
so that hammer is quite integral to this process.
Oh yeah, that's a... You know, don't bother using an ordinary hammer. There's different hammers you can use, but for the type of wall I'm doing now, this little hammer is pretty good. And I'm putting little small rocks in here to give it a little bit of... Just for body, your mortar is only the glue between the rocks. So as long as there's mortar between the rocks, touching all the rocks, you've got enough glue. You don't...
Wait, hold that pose. This is called the...
This is called the be careful where you walk pose.
Okay, perfect.
This is the last of the mud here, so I'm just going to mix another batch in a few moments. Alrighty, I'm going to mix another batch now.
Just wait to start a process such as this. How long is this wall going to be?
It's unknown yet. In this case, the rocks are being found on a daily or weekly basis, and I'm only doing so it's a spare time wall. So I really don't know. And then that closes off your pond, doesn't it?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Whatever happens, happens.
Tell us why you're doing that.
Because, just for drainage, because apparently water streams down here sometimes.
What exactly is that?
It's a 4-inch sewerage pipe, I think.
And will that be seen in between the rocks?
No, I'm going to cover it up with mortar now, and I'm going to take it out and twist it. If you twist it in about 2 hours time, just twist it like this, you'll be able to remove it the next day.
Oh, and so the pipe is actually just there as a form?
It's exactly. That's very well put, Andrea. The pipe is just there as a form.
If one was a cake baker, this would be synonymous with the pan, and then the cake would be the mortar. You remove the pan, you have the cake. You remove the white sewer wire, you have the mortar. Okay, just a minute, I'm pausing.
Do you want me to play this all for laughs, or a bit of both?
What do you mean? We're just practicing to see what works and which doesn't work. It's trial run.
Trial run, okay. The back of it isn't so incredibly perfectly curvy, but that's okay, it doesn't need to be. But Mummy said so.
So can you just describe what is this called, a two-faced wall? Because
A double-faced wall?
Double-faced wall.
Because both sides of the wall have stones that look reasonably attractive in them.
And what's in the center? Is that just solid mortar?
No, we put in small rocks in the center. We twist them down into the mortar, and that just gives it more body. If it was just mortar in the center, it's a little bit too soft.
And how long in between, like I gather you did this portion of the wall a week ago?
Yeah.
And then how long do you suggest to let it set before you work on it some more?
Oh, you can work on it the next day. But this wall is the time is scheduled by my invitations to shine during the daytime and
your energy level and your willingness to cooperate?
Yes, exactly. Like a lot of things.
And would you like to comment on
Looks a bit dirty.
now those little bonk marks, are they going to
We would we don't care. Bonk marks will disappear pretty rapidly.
okay.
And this side is just for the deer and the frogs and the little creatures to see. So they are not such fine adjudicators of style as humanity, so they should be happy enough with the bonk marks.
Brian, what's this level used for? I haven't seen you use it yet.
Oh,
yet
yeah,
it seems to be here
yes,
precariously perched.
It is on these double-faced walls. You bring them up vertically. So this is slightly. I've got to move in a tiny bit.
Is this a laser level?
No.
Why is it not a laser level?
Because you don't need a laser level for this.
I thought it was 2 feet high. Somehow it was changed. I was not consulted.
It was 3.
3, yeah. It's comfortable sitting height, so maybe it is 2. 2 would probably, maybe it is 2 because this is, say 18 inches, that'd be perfect.
How many?
18 inches. Because that's what this looks like.
Oh, 18 inches.
Or 20, let's see, 20 inches.
So that
That would be ideal for sitting on there.
1.5 feet?
No, just
12 inches to a foot.
Let's see. This is 24 inches. Take away 4. Yeah, about 20 inches high would be ideal, because you're going to sit on it. You can sit on the whole entire length of it. And yeah, I think that would be the ideal height. If that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Because higher is a little too high for sitting on.
Yeah.
And there's nothing behind it.
That's
so.
a good example.
Yeah.
Well, the battery's almost out and I'm getting rather tired.
Okay, it may be time to wrap up on
So
this.
could we do a summation, please?
In summation, we have done about, let's see, this is my handy dandy measurer. So we've done from here, so 1, 2, 3, 4 feet.
Tree also means 3 in English.
Yeah, we've done about 4 feet of one face of wall, plus there's another, say, 3. That's 7 feet. So that's doing the video has saved you the cost of it. Pretty good, eh? How's that for a plan?
Okay, now when is this post going to get removed?
The post?
This conduit.
Conduit, we're just moving it along as we go. So, oh, that conduit will be removed just before we leave for Victoria. How does that suit you, madame?
Fine. Okay, would you like to sign off, please, now?
And this is Brian signing off. Anything you like there?
Well, could you explain to us maybe what you're working on right now?
I am working on your mummy stone wall, and I'm doing it slightly different than the last time.
In what
We
way?
have the wheelbar on this side and the stones on this side. And that's kind of easy to work because one hand.
Okay, once
It's
again,
less
could you
stress on
show
the
us
body.
that?
It's less stress on the body because I'm not swiveling to one side all the time. So it's less stress on the knees. I'm swiveling to both sides. So this trowel is actually, even though it's the old granddaddy of trowel, and it's been welded up the middle, it's pretty nice for doing this job. And your mum wants the smoothie stones on the side where you don't see, and the rougher stones on the side that you can see, which is fine by me. So that's what I'm doing. I'm actually doing what the customer asked for.
Wow. What are you doing with that item?
This item is your measuring tape. It's a crappy tire hammer and it's 11.5 inches, which I have deemed to be a good thickness for the wall. So it measures 11.5 inches pretty accurately every time. Alright. So thank you very much.
Brian, could you please explain to us, I'm not sure, something about the structural soundness of this wall?
This rock wall is structurally sound.
That's not really explaining it, that's more like just stating what I said.
Occasional rocks go across like this,
Okay.
and even further like that. I've got some that go right across from one side to the other.
Why would that do?
This holds, like in the event of an earthquake, this will hold the rock together.
Oh.
But the mortar should be strong enough anyway to hold it together. And the mortar is kind of not fully wet.
Oh yes,
like
let's,
concrete.
okay, just a second, could you show us again?
The mortar is not fully wet like concrete because if it was wet like concrete, it's in an earthquake it won't flex or anything like that. So, or you know, if someone bumps into it, you get a big crack all the way through. But with this, if someone riding a rider mower or something like that, you know, one of those devices you guys have, and you probably not fully licensed for them. If you actually bumped into the wall, you might just knock out 1 or 2 stones, which is easily replaced.
That's not a rider mower, it's an ATV.
It's an ATV. That's
all-terrain vehicle.
oh, okay.
Or just a minute, please.
Here is the top of the wall. It's left rough. Like many people try and get it as smooth as possible.
Why is it left rough?
It's left rough so that when you add your next layer of wall, it has a lot of area, surface area to bond to.
Okay.
So that if you leave it perfectly, absolutely smooth, like see, here's a smooth piece here.
Just a minute, let's zoom in on that.
If I left it smooth like that all the way along, your problem would be that the next layer is there's more likely to be a crack here, there's more likely for it to slide here. So it's just generally, this is what you're looking for, a rough surface like that. Even on the very top when you're putting the cap on it, say you're doing the cap the next day, you leave your surface rough so that it will bond to it. And the capping is another thing I'm going to go into more detail on.
Can you just tell us what capping is?
Capping is the wall is made with this dry mix, because which goes nicely for the wall. The capping is a layer about 3/4 of an inch thick or so that is there to prevent the water soaking down through the wall and basically rotting the wall, because the water contains carbon dioxide from the air and it turns into carbonic acid, which has a detrimental effect on concrete and on the lime in the mortar.
Oh, you sound like almost a scientist.
Almost, but not quite.
Excellent.
There you go. Thank you very much for that. And here we have Andrea, who is a very special lady, who is currently slightly in my way here as I wheel the wheelbarrow right straight in here to a suitable position just ahead of where I'm working. So here's the end. What we've decided is to bring. So here we're bringing the water height, and we've ascertained that a suitable height for the ladies and gentlemen here to sit on is right at the bubble. This was ascertained with a chair type device, and we just checked the bubble to the height of the chair. Well, actually the chair is the height of about 1 inch above the bubble, and we need 1 inch for the cap anyway, so the perfectly long chair that we're building here for a huge garden party is going to be that height, the bubble plus 1 inch. Okay? And
String line.
string line is, what I've done is I built up here to height, bubble height, here to bubble height, over there and over there to bubble height, and then put up a string line between those areas, and then I just build the rest of the wall up to the height of the string line.
You mean you make 3 points? Is that what you do?
I've made 1, 2, 3, 4 points on that string line. I could have made a few more, but the string line was that height, so that's what I've done.
So what does the string line do exactly?
Well, the string line, rather than using the level every single time to bring your rock to the height, you just bring it to the height of the string line, so it's like, it just says, you've got to keep it a little bit taut. There it is, a little bit tauter. Is tauter a word?
Mm-hmm.
So we've been discussing wordplay during the course of this little project, and I'm running out of things to say now.
Okay. What was that just called that you did?
That was addressing the rock. I dressed the rock a tiny bit. This rock is a bit fractured, so it mightn't be much use for anything.
You're called dressing it?
Dressing it, yes. Dressing it just... sometimes you can't dress the rock because the rock is totally... there's not willing to be dressed. Like a bad child, I guess.
I was just hit by a rock shard.
Yes, that probably means you're too close. Construction is a dangerous, dangerous thing. So tell me about your mommy's birthday and how you're going to be drinking sangria.
Today's Mother's Day. We're going to drink sangria outside on the deck with you.
Oh, the suddenly impatient Andrea does not take any BS from anybody. That can happen about that.
Pausing. Wait. We want to zoom in on that. Could you show us a mark that you have had due to this flying rock chips so people understand don't have small children around here?
Yes, this is 2 little marks from the flying rock chips. It took me a while to convince other people that it wasn't actually from an alternative girlfriend or something like that. Also on the leg there's a couple
Just a minute, please.
This indicates that I should be wearing shin guards when I'm busting bigger rocks.
And why aren't you?
And I don't know. Anyway, full protective gear like
Safety glasses.
safety glasses, which I have.
You're wearing them right now?
These are perfectly safe safety glasses to keep my eyes tender and fresh. And
Do we even know what safety glasses are?
safety glasses are made of a special glass called safety glass, and they are used in construction rarely by people who actually have realized the past error of their ways. They're usually worn by one-eyed people.
Cyclops, you mean? Construction cyclops?
So you could probably tell.
Are you talking about cyclops?
If you did, no.
Talking about one-eyed people.
One-eyed people wear safety glasses, so you might assume that wearing safety glasses is probably detrimental to your health, just by the profile of the people who wear them.
That's complete bullshit.
But that's not true, because the people who wear them actually learned a little too late about the incredible value of them.
Could you please spell for us the word dem?
Them is surprisingly.
No, the word dem.
Them is surprisingly spelled with TH. I have no idea why it should be spelled in that manner, but the English language is an archaic.
Okay, which is more old, or Latin or Celtic?
Well,
I mean Gaelic.
Gaelic is one of the older spoken languages in Europe.
Yeah, in Europe, but Latin worldwide. Wouldn't you say, Brian, that Latin is older than Gaelic? I mean, than Celtic? I mean Gaelic?
Latin is contemporary with Gaelic.
It certainly is not.
Well,
Homer.
Homer is from where?
Aristotle.
Aristotle didn't speak Latin.
Yes, he did.
He did? I thought he spoke Greek.
Well, Greek is from Latin.
Greek precedes Latin, didn't it?
No.
The Greeks preceded the Romans, didn't they? I thought they did. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. If you're wrong, you're wrong, and you should have the grace to admit it sometimes. The Romans did apparently invent pretty good cement. So Latin may not have been something that lasted, but at least cement did.
Latin is still used. Pisces grandis, Abies grandis, all the bug names and tree names and everything.
Latin is used because it's a dead language, it's unchanging. It's used for those things because it's not going to change very much. You know, the meaning of the words won't change in 100 years. Well, except that the mean bugs now, I guess. So I guess they are changed in that manner. But it's a dumb language anyway, isn't it?
I have no comment.
Not like Irish. Majestic language of the Celts. Okay, so I guess that section is pretty much up to height. I'm going to bring the back of it up to height a little bit too. So I'm just going to finish off the front here to height. And then I shall come to the back. This mortar, this sand is slightly not so good.
Will you be getting angry with anyone today?
No, no anger. No anger necessary. And
Could you please describe to us what you're like when angry?
I am, well, I could just physically describe it, I guess. I'm not that pleasant actually when I'm angry. This might surprise some people. But I guess, yeah, not very pleasant today. But I've been pretty good with my anger lately. I've held it in check. Or no, I haven't actually. I just haven't had it. Because you can't really hold anger in check, can you?
Not and be well.
Hmm?
Not and be healthy.
Yeah. So I got to try and... Oh, my ears. I'm just using the river rock types on the back, because that's what Mummy wants. I just have a stick under here just to hold it up for a few minutes while it's setting into place. It's not
How come there's some tree in there that you just covered over?
that little tree. It's some sort of a thorn bush. It's not necessary to preserve all the wildlife and stuff when you're an evil stonemaker. And on the back of your wall, if it's not going to be seen that much, so I'm just using the measure as a measure. You don't need to exactly come to the top of your line.
Oh.
Because it's not going to be seen that much. We're moving along pretty rapidly now, aren't we?
It's lovely.